in the circulatory system. The lymphatic system also houses a lot of the immune system. So, have you ever gotten sick and then your mom or your grandma grab like under your throat to like poke? Any idea why they're doing that? Besides it's something grandmas do? They're seeing if glands are swollen, right? Is that what they said? Yeah. The glands are part of the lymphatic system, what they're looking at, right? So yeah, the lymphatic system, hugely important for the immune system, because the immune system basically hangs out there and like watches for stuff. And it also is returning fluid back to the bloodstream, which is why if you've got like a swollen hand or something, when you rub on it, you're trying to push fluid back into the lymphatic system. You're trying to kind of shove it along. Alright, I should just okay, yeah. All that. And then the reproductive system, which as you pointed out, makes more of you. You know, this is the only system that if you don't have it, you can still survive. But the species needs at least some people to have this, so you know, production of offspring. Okay. This is about halfway through the class, which is great. I'm gonna do 2 things. I'm gonna check on my little recording bot. I'm gonna go off like half an hour. Oh yeah, it's doing its thing. And actually take attendance here. In other classes, I give people a break like halfway through. But this class is weird because you have to like go out and come back. Do you all want a break? Do you want like a 5-minute just not listening to yak break? Should I just try using anecdotes? I don't know. What makes sense for you all? Not this class specifically, like this whole course. Is a break halfway through helpful? Or do we just need a break in that something different from what we do? Like, we're gonna stop.
I mean, I enjoy it. I'll speak it. I enjoy
You
it.
enjoy
I enjoy it.
psychological, like, I can disengage for a few minutes? Okay. Disengage for about 5 minutes, till 10:10. And we'll be back. Does anybody feel like this is a waste of time? Okay. Feel free to ask questions, whatever, but you can catch up on your notes whenever you're doing.
Are you going to post the PowerPoints to
Absolutely. You could. Please don't, unless executive in case, please do. You could be in Sri Lanka and be taking this class, including the labs, which I'm not making a touch, and be fine. Yes, so the lectures are going to be there, PowerPoints are going to be there, assignments are going to be there. You'll get a long-winded email today when I get around to figuring out the YouTube channels that's going to be this. Does anybody have a better suggestion besides posting this to YouTube? Because Owlnet hates videos. The PowerPoints are posted to YouTube, but Owlnet gets very mad about like the size of your file or seeing something. Better suggestions? I didn't really want to be a YouTube presence, but good news I won't be a YouTube presence because besides you all, nobody's ever going to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'll post them. What I was going to do is I'm going to post it and I'm going to post the link on the first page of the slide that has the
Yeah, because I like taking notes off the PowerPoint.
Okay. Do you guys want to post it beforehand to like?
Yeah, if you could.
I can do that. Typically, I can. Sometimes I'm like, I make it last minute, but yes, post them. Oh, with that, is the black and white? Are you guys seeing it okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first thing she said. She was like, I'm down to lab. This is my second time.
I know my laptop was in
One of them got high spin, so I'm retaking. That's why we're taking this one.
I know, I do too.
The image of it, okay. Looks like you're about to really do something. I think that's my Little Rock on a camera.
I didn't bring my charger. It's not like I would have
I mean, that's true.
And that 9%.
I think it's so cool.
Rip. I'll be right back.
Hard application.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
It is.
Is it with Val?
It is Val, yeah.
She made you draw your hand yet?
No.
Oh, you wait. You have to draw your hand in like 14,000 different positions.
Oh, yeah, she said, yeah, truthfully,
Yeah. It's, oh god. I hate it.
well, like, I could do like the outline of it, I could do things, but I just like, three-dimensional,
Yeah.
you know? But,
Yeah.
okay, I was like,
No,
That's
it's
what I said.
to be, yeah, we kept throwing our hands for like 4 months and all this stuff. And I was getting so much up, and then finally we got like past the point that we could do that. And I was like, good, because I'm about to like lose my mind.
does she, like, grade on how well, or does she take into account if there's like a ton of different experience levels?
Yeah, she does a lot of like wanting to see effort and then seeing you progress through this semester. So like, if your work gets better and better, you'll be fine. Because I suck at art and I got A's. But it's almost like you just kind of ask questions and seem interested and kind of smooth. It's like smooth talk a little bit. She'll think that you're actually really serious about it. Because that's all I did. I just asked questions. And she was all like that. She just got someone asking her questions and she was like, I hate that.
I mean, I was very interested in like drawing art and everything.
Yeah.
So, this is all new to me.
Oh, okay. Who's gonna take the role here? Taylor? Yep. Hi, yes, I saw you. Hi. Logan. Hi. Samantha. Yeah, it's like, I see you, but do help me out here instead of you. Shane? I don't know who this is.
Chills, baby.
Okay, people name Mark tardy just because they're not physically present and they're not taking so long. Ben, I think he's online this semester as well. Jake? Yeah. You wasn't you. Okay. Cameron. Hi. Kate. Hi. Brooke. Allie. Yeah. Casey. Hi. I don't think I know you. My name?
I was in your bio class.
I would. Okay. Great.
I had long hair back then.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Thank you, Matt. Yes. I was like, I don't recognize you, man. Okay. Great. See, maybe it's sisters. Okay. Hi. Okay. Brody's here. Emily. Claire. Hi. Chapman. Hi. Ari, you're here. How is it wrong? Ari, you're here.
It's Ari.
Ari, I did it right? Okay.
Yeah, you did it right. Don't worry.
Is that right? When I second myself.
It's okay.
Kimberly, Tanner's here.
Get married.
And Patricia is. Sorry. Okay. Does anybody know Shaylee?
I don't know where.
I don't know if she's coming back, but
So she's coming back in person, but
yeah.
online as well.
She wasn't in class yesterday either.
Okay. Good. Alright. Back to stuff. Oh, this class is over at 10:40, just for the record. Okay. Great. So, briefly, I realized this was like half an hour ago. To stay alive, humans need what kind of stuff?
Oxygen.
Oxygen, water, 2, pressure, pressure on it. I think that was the whole list, I can't remember. There's something else on the list, they need that thing too. Homeostasis is your body, well, homeostasis is many things, but for our intents purposes, it's maintaining an internal, a stable internal environment, even if all sorts of things are changing outside. Is this the same thing as nothing changing? No, why not? People are shaking their heads emphatically, that's great. What happens when nothing between you and the environment changes? If, like, say, you're the same temperature and pressure, you are very dead, right? But yeah. So, what kinds of things, help me out here, if I need to keep stable internal temperature, what does my body hopefully doing to make that happen?
Well, whenever it's really hot, you sweat.
Yeah.
Whenever it's really cold, your body will try to concentrate the heat to your core organs, which are invisible.
Absolutely, absolutely, right? It's going to have a bunch of chemical and organ changes to keep me adjusted. It's also, and this I realize maybe isn't possible, but it's also like, if it's cold, go inside, like, okay, right? Yeah, it's going to adjust. So it doesn't mean that nothing's happening. Homeostasis isn't like your body systems are taking a break. It's not like, well, I'm going to peace out because I'm going to maintain stuff. It's working really hard to keep you within a range. Same thing happens with something like blood sugar, right? You're going to feel hungry, you're going to want to eat. Some of us eat just as like an activity, but presumably you're supposed to be eating because you're hungry. Your body's going to be storing nutrients or releasing stored nutrients, right? Trying to keep a somewhat relatively stable environment. Organ systems are going to be playing with each other to keep this happening. Okay, it's not the same as nothing changing. Things are changing all the time. It is practically a law that I have to show this picture. The homeostasis idea is the idea of a thermostat regulator, right? I want it to be, apparently I want it to be 78 degrees, but it's hot outside. So I have my thermostat set. It reads the temperature. If it's hotter than that, it kicks it on, makes it colder, and then that coldness is turning it off, right? This is negative feedback, by the way. The body's going to have a whole bunch of systems that work like that thermostat. I mean, it's going to be monitored, and then the body's going to regulate what happens. So the thermostat's monitoring, but the air conditioning's actually changing the stuff. Fair enough? The nervous system and endocrine systems are hugely important for this because they're going to be sending these signals of what's happening. But other organ systems are important too here. Factors that can change. What can change in... Okay, I'm feeding this to death, I realize. What can change for your body system here? The environment that's in. What kind of things? Heat, pressure, temperature, right? Oh, sorry. How hungry you are, your blood sugar, oxygen levels, right? These are kind of things. People have books for this. If you don't have a book, you should probably at least get some version of this book. Ebook's fine, the old edition's fine. You should probably get this book. Get the book. It goes through this for a long time, but talks about you need a receptor, you need something that notices, right? You need something to notice the heat, you need something to notice the oxygen, you need something to notice. Actually, you don't really notice oxygen that much, you notice carbon dioxide more, but whatever. You need some center that's the control, that's realizing what should it be, and then you need the effector, something that's actually changing, that's causing change, that's causing you to shiver, causing you to pull blood back into the core, whatever you do. Oh, look! I had it here. I made these like last night, so I kind of forgot what I wrote a long time ago. We want environment, control centers. getting this information and then sending the signal saying what to do next. And then the effector is what's responding to what the control center said. Alright? Two versions of this. There's the response can either do something that reduces the stimulus. So in a thermostat, if the stimulus is heat, the response to that is making it cold, right? It reduces the heat. Okay with this? For blood sugar, right? If your blood sugar is really low, the response is things that increase blood sugar. Fair enough? That's the most common one. That's where the stimulus comes in, the response is to reduce that stimulus. It's called negative feedback. That doesn't mean it's bad, okay? It's like getting a negative result on, say, a COVID test. That's not a bad thing, right? That's like, oh, I got a negative result. Happiness, right? Okay? So negative feedback, just say the feedback's reducing the original stimulus. Okay? You can also have feedback that enhances the original stimulus. That's called positive feedback. It can be a good thing, doesn't have to be a good thing. That's the analogy. That if you had a thermostat and when you got heat coming in, it turned the heat on and made it warmer. Does that normally happen? Not normally. It can in the body. Feedback, negative feedback is the big one. That's the one that usually is used. It's shutting off the original stimulus. It's going opposite direction. So if something's too high, it brings it down. If it's too low, it's trying to bring it back. Body temperature is a really good example of this one. Blood glucose, really good example. Positive feedback does happen super rare. Why is this rare? Is it because it's complicated to engineer? No, I mean either
Because if like the stimulus was there for the homeostasis purpose, then like if you would like increase, that seems sort of counterintuitive.
right? Like why do you need this? Right, exactly. It's like when people are angry and then being angry makes them more angry, you're like, okay, you're stuck in the feedback loop, right? In a positive feedback loop. It's very rare. Yeah.
Doesn't it happen during labor or something?
Absolutely. You're on it. That's one of the few times that actually happens. Happens during labor. So contractions and a whole series of chemicals, as they happen, they trigger more of that, right? So as contractions happen, this many steps, but you're going to get more oxytocin, which is going to cause more contractions, which is going to cause more oxytocin, right? So you're ramping up the signal. How come this doesn't just ramp up forever?
Is it because like eventually you'll stop producing the hormone that keeps making it
Yeah,
go
well,
up?
yeah, eventually the baby comes out and then you're done. It's like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's all, right? Yeah, that's one of the few examples, and it works. It's a positive feedback loop. The more signal there is, the more signal happens, which is how, other things too, but basically how labor is induced, right? They run a chemical that's very similar to this in, and it just gets going. The other example I could think of, I'm sure there's another one, but these are the two I come up with. Platelet plug, when you start bleeding, as you're clotting up, the more a blood bit clots, the more sticky the blood is, and so it's able to clot better. That also has like a physical built-in stop, though. Once the hole's plugged, you kind of ran out of edges for it. I mean, there are exceptions where things are bad, but you've got a physical stop to it. So even if it would keep going, it can't. Even if the contractions would keep going, you're done because the kid's out. Right? You cool with this? So most of these though are going to be the negative feedback. But positive feedback happens. What happens if a homeostatic imbalance can't be corrected? Any super dramatic guesses? Yeah, you said that. Yeah. Honestly, if you wanted to get technical about it or just relate, the cause of death always is a homeostatic imbalance. Something couldn't get back to how it was supposed to be. We're talking even if like you fall off a cliff, that's the reason that you died. Something went wrong. Your body couldn't pull blood, couldn't maintain blood pressure or whatever it is, right? So you don't want to do that. Okay, the last brief portion of today is looking at how you find your way around the body. I have 2 videos to show you. Somewhat skeptical about A, the speed of this computer, and B, the plugginess of the projector, but we're gonna try. And online people, I'm gonna pause this for a second and you can watch the videos on your own. If you're any people who have a robot